This is Mark Bell from supertraining.tv, Supertraining Gym, the strongest gym in the West, answering more questions today for the Power Project. I'm about to go inside Uncle Vito's Pizza over here to order up some wings. And I went in there, and when I placed my order, I put in one order of wings. And then I said, hold on a second, how many come in one order? And the woman said, oh, only about 6. And I said, well, I'm on a diet, so let's make it 3 orders of wings. She looked at me like I had 2 heads. But it's the fantastic part of being on a ketogenic diet, carb night, and no, Brad Sakana and Suzanne Hedman, I do not eat this way all the time. There is no salami load. But here and there, I eat things like wings to keep me on my diet, as you guys eat your fancy ice cream to keep yourselves on your diet. Anyway, back to the matter at hand. We got questions to answer here at the Power Project today. One including deloading and one including the CNS. 2 of my favorites. Somebody asked the question, how do that guy obviously doesn't care about the Power Project blasting his music that loud, no one can hear me. Somebody asked the question, how do they deload within the conjugate system? The answer is you don't have to. You can, but you don't have to. The conjugate system, done properly, done the way they do it at Westside Barbell, has a 3-week wave on the dynamic day that starts out at about 50%, goes to 55%, then goes to 60% in week number 3, and then you start over again. So week number 4, on that 4th week, you start the whole process over again, and you're back down to 50%. So there's your deload, there's your rest, if you want to call it that. Now, how would you deload on a max effort day if you really felt like you needed to? I would suggest doing sets of 3, doing sets of 5, and I'd do sets of 3 and sets of 5 all the way up. I wouldn't do singles and then try to bust out a crazy set of 5. I would do sets of 3 or sets of 5 all the way up. Get in tons of volume, make yourself a little bit fatigued going into your last few sets, and that way you'll lift a little bit less for the day and you'll have accomplished what you have wanted to accomplish. But some people, when they do repetitions, they still lift like shit. So make sure you're not doing that. Make sure you're lifting with good form. Make sure you're keeping the percentages low. Make sure you're actually following through with what you set out to do, and that was a deload. Again, I'm not a huge fan of it. The other thing you can do is you can do things that are easy for you. You can take some risk out of the exercise a little bit and make things a little easier. So, for example, you can do a reverse band deadlift, reverse band squat, slingshot bench press from howmuchyoubench.net. You can do things like that. Louis Simmons actually suggests, and no one ever listens to him when he suggests this, but it's in every book he's ever written. It's everywhere. You just got to read it. He says to do dumbbell bench press instead of dynamic effort bench pressing, and utilize it with the repetition effort method, and do it every 3 or 4 weeks or so. So maybe once a month, maybe once every 6 weeks, somewhere in there, whatever you think you need, whatever your shoulders and biceps and stuff need. It's going to be an individual thing. At Super Training, we like to use the bamboo bar. That gives us a lot of relief. We use the bamboo bar from westsidebarbell.com, and we hook up the kettlebells to it and do the crazy bell press. Anyway, we got another question here at the Power Project to answer. Hopefully that answers your question on deloading. We got a question about the central nervous system, my favorite question of all time. Actually, it's not a question, just a guy talking shit. And I know I probably should never respond to these, but I can't help myself. The old wrestler inside of me wants to respond to a lot of these things. Anyway, this guy, in a not so very nice way, says, how I'm an idiot, which he's correct. Let's face it, we all know that, don't we? So that's not news. But he says I'm an idiot because I'm ignoring pain, ignoring elbow pain, and ignoring fatigue, and ignoring the central nervous system. And I'm not listening to my body. And I'm going to end up in a wheelchair with a nurse pushing me around. Well, guess what, my friend? We are all heading there. We will all die. We will all be in a lot of pain. It's all coming our way. It's inevitable. It's part of life. But in the meantime, you might as well be a fucking savage and live your life the way you want to live. And you might as well put your best effort and your best foot forward and train like a motherfucker. I fell with 1,080 on my back. And I got up and I walked away on my own. One of my training partners tried to carry me off. He said, "Here, rest on my shoulder." I said, "Get the fuck away from me." And the reason is because I walk and stand on my own 2 feet. I'm a man. That's what I do. So for you, you know, you're trying to take the easy route and you're trying to find excuses why you shouldn't be training, and you're trying to find science and research and stupid shit like that about the central nervous system so you can miss a workout or two. You're taking the easy way out. What did Jerry Rice used to do? Jerry Rice used to run hills and catch bricks. Jerry Rice used to do warm-ups that would make other athletes puke. That was stupid, right? Because there was no science behind it. And Jerry Rice only lasted 20 plus years in the NFL. So when I said fuck you and fuck your elbow, I mean it. Fuck you and fuck your elbow. And that's it from supertraining.tv. Later.